Hello everyone, welcome to Integrated Medical Biochemistry with Dr. Bijoya. Today's topic is Clinical Enzymology 1, Serum Transaminases. Serum transaminases are AST and ALT. These are the most frequently measured transaminases by the clinical biochemistry laboratory. Serum AST, ALT levels and their ratio, that is AST to ALT ratio, are biomarkers for liver health. These enzymes are used in differential diagnosis of various liver diseases, and the ratio of the two enzymes provides additional clinical insight. These tests are a part of LFT panel. Now let us look at what LFT enzyme panel comprises of. LFT enzyme panel comprises of alanine aminotransferase, which is markedly increased in parenchymal liver disease, aspartate aminotransferase, which is increased in muscle disease, but it is not specific because it is present in various tissues, alkaline phosphatase, it is markedly increased in obstructive liver disease, gamma glutamyl transferase, is seen to be increased in obstructive liver and alcohol liver diseases, whereas AST to ALT ratio in hepatitis it is seen that the ALT is higher than AST, whereas in alcoholic cirrhosis or in cirrhosis it is seen that AST is higher than ALT. So these are the different LFT enzyme panel that is used to assess the liver function. Now, what are the functions of transaminases? Transaminases are enzymes that catalyze a reaction between an amino acid and an alpha keto acid. The generalized steps of transamination reactions include coenzyme pyridoxal phosphate, which is vitamin B6. It is first converted to pyridoxamine. Now, this pyridoxamine will carry out the further transferring of the groups. So when it is transferring the groups, one amino acid is getting converted to a keto acid. So what exactly does enzyme bound pyridoxamine do? It converts pyruvate to alanine, oxaloacetate to aspartic acid, and alpha ketoglutarate to glutamic acid. So through different reactions, the keto acids are getting converted to amino acids. These amino acids now can play a part in protein synthesis. So this is the function of transaminases. So let us look at the generalized mechanism of transaminase reactions. Now here you can see that there is an amino acid and a alpha keto acid. Now these two reactants will be converted by transaminase enzyme to another amino acid and an alpha keto acid with the help of pyridoxal phosphate as a cofactor, which is vitamin B6. So now let us see how the reaction occurs. So the first step is conversion of pyridoxal phosphate to pyridoxamine. Now once this conversion has occurred, it is this pyridoxamine that will do the group transfers. So let us see what happens. So amino acid 1 will be converted to keto acid 2 because it will transfer its amino group to the keto group, the alpha keto acid. So when it transfers this group to this acid, it will get converted to keto acid 2. This will be lost. And the keto acid 1 on accepting this amine group will be converted to amino acid 2. So a new amino acid, a different amino acid is formed here. Now this is generally a non-essential amino acids are formed in transaminase reaction, and these can now participate. So let us look at the clinical significance of transaminases. So we'll begin with aspartate aminotransferase, whose enzyme code is 2.6.1.1. It is also known as serum glutamate oxaloacetate transaminase, that is SGOT. It is both cytoplasmic and mitochondrial. The cytoplasmic fraction is known as CAST and the mitochondrial fraction is known as MAST. Or you can also call them SGOT1 and SGOT2. These are distributed in liver, muscle, brain, pancreas, kidney, and so any damage to these organs increases the AST level in blood. The reference range is 8 to 40 units per liter. It is significantly raised in myocardial infarction. So in myocardial infarction, generally you will see the isoenzyme ALT1 or CAST, SGOT1 or CAST, which is present in the cytoplasm. And in liver disease, the SGOT isoenzyme 2 will be raised, which is mitochondrial, and it is known as MAST. It is also raised in primary hepatomas. In alcoholic hepatitis, AST is more than ALT due to mitochondrial damage. So this question may be asked to you of AST and ALT, which is greater in concentration in alcoholic hepatitis, which I've also explained in my lecture series about alcohol metabolism, where AST and ALT are used as markers. Now, aminotransferases, that is AST, ALT, can be measured by colorimetric methods using a spectrophotometer. So, these are the various methods, that is Reitman-Frankel's method, Reitman-Frankel method equivalent to kinetics, and kinetic method using IFCC or DGKC, etc. It can also be measured by dry chemistry. So if you're asked which are the alternative methods of measuring AST and ALT, you can say that one is the chemical method, which is used which is where the colored product is formed, and the other one is the kinetic method, where a NADH conversion to NAD is equated to the AST activity, AST-ALT activity. Now, what is the clinical significance of transaminases? Alanine aminotransferase is also known as ALT. Its enzyme code is 2.6.1.2, and they are also known as SGPT, that is serum glutamate pyruvate transaminase, and they are only cytoplasmic. In a normal person, always AST is higher than ALT. Its reference range is 10 to 40 units per liter. It is significantly raised in acute hepatitis. In liver disease, both ALT and AST are raised, but ALT is greater than AST. So this helps you to differentiate between alcoholic liver disease, where AST is greater, and in liver cirrhosis it is ALT which is greater. So there is a moderate rise from 50 to 100 units per liter in chronic liver diseases such as cirrhosis, hepatitis C, and NASH. So what is the principle? Principle is that L-alanine is converted to pyruvate by ALT. Now ALT is present in the patient's blood sample, and L-alanine and pyruvate, L-alanine, NADH, LDH, these are all present in the reagents. So let us see what happens. L-alanine is converted to pyruvate by ALT. The pyruvate is now converted to lactate by LDH, and NADH, during this conversion of pyruvate to lactate, NADH is converted to NAD plus. So there is decrease in absorbance of NADH when it is getting converted to NAD plus. And this decrease in absorbance is measured at 340 nanometers. So all these, this alanine, alpha ketoglutarate, pyruvate, all these are present in the reagent. The patient sample will have SGPT enzyme whose activity has to be measured. So the more the activity, greater will be the absorbance. So how do we do this? First we have to make a working reagent. Now in working reagent, we will mix 4 volumes of R1 and 1 volume of R2. The mixture is stable for 2 weeks at 2 to 8 degrees Celsius and at 5 days at 20 to 25 degrees Celsius. The procedure is we will take just one tube because here we do not need a blank and a standard. All the details are already fed in the semi-auto analyzer, so we just need to take the test tube for patient sample. So only a single test tube. And now the working reagent of 1000 microliter is transferred to a test tube, and then the patient sample is transferred, which is 100 microliters, and immediately the it is taken in by the semi-auto analyzer to take the reading. And after 3 minutes we get a difference in absorbance of first reading and second reading, which is called the delta A or absorbance per minute, and then this is multiplied by the factor. So this is the SGPT kit modified IFCC method. It contains enzyme reagent, starter reagent. These are the two bottles in which the enzyme reagent 100 ml, that, and in the second bottle it is the starter reagent, that is 50 ml. And here the storage details and expiry date is given for the reagents. So there are two reagents, 1 and 2. Now these two reagents will be used in estimating ALT. And these are the two pipettes, 1000 microliter pipette and a 100 microliter pipette. 1000 microliter pipette will be used for the reagent and 100 microliter for the sample. So now this is the kit insert that is present in the kit. All the assay details are given here, like reaction, its kinetic, wavelength 340 nanometer, flow cell temperature 37 degrees, initial delay 60 seconds, interval time 60 seconds, read time 180 seconds, and number of readings are 3. So all these details are given over here, which will be used for the estimation. Now this is the serum sample, patient sample, which we are going to use for the estimation. It is being compared to the normal person sample. You can see the slight difference in color. This is straw colored and this is icteric in color. So just the appearance we wanted to show you. So whenever there is a liver condition, there may be icterus in the serum, and this is what the sample is showing. Now this is the equipment. This is a semi-auto analyzer. It is slightly more advanced than the colorimeter. So it has been turned on. Now the equipment will stabilize itself. So it is like a computer where you can feed all the information, and so part of the test is automatic and part is manual. Now this is the menu for all the blood tests that we perform in the lab. See, and we are going to select the test that we want to do with the sample. So because we are doing SGPT, we selected SGPT and then we run the test. Now the lamp will first warm up to set the ideal temperature so that the enzyme reaction is carried out. And once the temperature has been reached, the menu will open further. So this is the factor I was talking to you about. This is the factor 3205. And now the mixing of reagent. This is a working reagent has been already made, mixing reagent 1 and 2, which I showed you in the initial previous video. So 1000 microliter of the working reagent and 100 microliter of the patient sample will now be dispensed. So this is the aliquot, and now it is being transferred to the test tube. So in kinetic reactions, there is no waiting for reaction to get over. So immediately after mixing reagent and sample, the sample has to be fed to the equipment. Now the sample has been taken in by the equipment and the reaction has started. So there are going to be 3 readings in this reaction, and this is the absorbance of initial absorbance, and now you will see that the absorbance will keep changing over here. And the graph has started to form. So this is the formation of the graph. So the graph is between time and activity of the enzyme. So this is how the time and absorbance, sorry. So this is how the enzyme activity will be calculated in units per liter. So you can see that the graph is proceeding, and you can also see that the absorbance is decreasing. Normally all the tests that you have done, you see that gradually the absorbance is increasing, but here something new is happening, that is the absorbance is decreasing, which means the substrate is forming the product. The substrate OD is decreasing because substrate is gradually getting converted to the product. Because we are measuring the substrate OD, we can see that its concentration is decreasing. So that is why there is a decline in the graph with time. As the time proceeds, the substrate concentration is decreasing. So here the substrate whose absorbance we are measuring is NADH. Now NADH is getting converted to NAD. So finally the reaction is over. 3 minutes are over, and this is the initial OD. This is the factor, and we'll soon get the final OD. So now here the whole graph is ready in front of you. So this is the delta per minute, that is A absorbance, initial absorbance minus final absorbance, and it has been multiplied with the factor to get the values. So here you can see that the patient sample has 247.877 units per liter. So this is the final result of the patient's GPT activity. This can be reported now. So you can see that in kinetic method, you saw that in GPT you got this kind of a graph, which means the substrate is depleting. So we are monitoring the decrease of NADP, NADH. So in substrate depletion method, the graph will always be inverse on X when it is plotted with X and Y axis. The X axis is for time and the Y axis is for absorbance, and SGPT, SGOT and LDH are the enzymes which follow the substrate depletion method. Whereas in alkaline phosphatase, we are measuring the product formation. So the graph will always be proportionate. That is, it will be a straight line. And here the substrate depletion is being observed, whereas here product formation is being observed. So this is the difference between the two methods. Now we will calculate the absorbance per minute by multiplying it with the absorbance, and then finally we will get the result. This factor is provided by the kit supplier after standardizing, so we do not need to run the standard, and we just have to multiply the absorbance per minute by this factor and we'll get the answer. The reference range of ALT to SGPT is up to 40 units per liter. So kinetic versus endpoint analysis. An enzyme can be measured by endpoint assay, in which sample is incubated with buffered substrate for a fixed period of time, and at the end the amount of product formed or substrate use is estimated. Whereas in kinetic assay or the rate analysis assay, where such changes are measured at short intervals or continuously monitored, which we just saw in the previous slides. So kinetic methods have more advantages. The range of measurable activity is high. Reaction monitoring completes within 5 minutes. Detection of high enzyme activity is seen within 3 minutes. Standard is not required and factor is used. Whereas in endpoint assay, the range of measurable activity is limited. Reaction monitoring needs long incubation periods. Detection of high enzyme activity needs more than 30 minutes, and standard is essential. So now let us look at the D-Ritis ratio, which is the AST to ALT ratio. It is so named because it was first suggested in 1955 by D-Ritis. The normal D-Ritis ratio or AST to ALT ratio should be less than 1. But in this table, various conditions are given, which you can just go through, where different ratios are given for different liver diseases. So just take a look at these. I can just tell you that in alcohol liver disease, the AST to ALT ratio is more than 2. Now, summary of enzymes in liver disease. This is a comparison, and you can see that these are various liver diseases and how the 4 enzymes of the LFT panel are being compared here, and which of the enzymes are raised, moderately raised or markedly raised in different liver diseases. So this you will get an idea of various enzymes and how they are helpful in uh, differential diagnosis of various liver diseases. And these are the questions that you have to address. What are the functions of transaminases? Which enzymes are raised in liver disease? What is the significance of AST to ALT ratio? Which are the conditions in which AST is raised? AST is greater than ALT in alcoholic liver disease. Explain. So I hope you liked what I said. So for more videos, like, share and subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to hit the bell icon. Thank you.